3 rounds of discussion with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first from a Zoom call in Columbia, South Carolina, Matthew, aka the Unbreakable Spirit. And his opponent from a Zoom call in Atlanta, Georgia, Daniel, aka the Executioner. Take it away, Matthew.
Thank you, Jesse, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. This is the 80th episode of Allies with the Unbreakable Spirit.
I'm the Executioner, Daniel Travas.
All right, I am the Unbreakable Spirit. Let's run through the topics.
Topic number 1.
The stupidity of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship Tournament involving SmackDown superstars.
Topic number 2.
We are once again talking about how Vince McMahon is out of touch with modern professional wrestling fans.
And topic number 3.
The results of Backlash, which I will get into in topic 3 after we do the other two. Let's get started. So, I personally think it is stupid that SmackDown superstars are getting a chance at a Raw championship.
Now, me personally, I do kind of feel the same way that it is stupid, but I honestly want to more talk about the weirdness of this world title tournament.
Yeah, triple threat matches.
Which then the winners of those 2 triple threats face each other.
Yeah. See, what I would have done is I would have made it 18-man for the first round. Then for the semifinals, I would do a triple threat. And then the finals be one-on-one.
But maybe, and this is just a theory, but maybe because Raw doesn't have enough male wrestlers to fill out the world title tournament. Maybe they want to keep certain guys in the mid card, certain guys in the world title picture.
Yeah, maybe.
But me personally, I will admit I think doing a triple threat for the first for doing triple threat for the first round, then semifinals be a normal match, and then the finals be a normal match is interesting. But me personally, I'd have just brought back the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. But the thing is, well, yeah, the semifinals are one-on-one, but still, like, the fact that it's the round 1 brackets were triple threat matches is unusual.
Yeah. What I also want to say is, with SmackDown superstars involved, my best guess in the logic behind that, because it's WWE, they really put logic into anything.
Fair enough. And before you ask, yes, the timer is going.
Okay. But maybe the reason on why SmackDown superstars involved is because maybe, you could draw a lot more prestige to the main event, to the match of the for the world title, is if you got two big names from Raw and one big name from SmackDown.
Yeah, but I feel like it's sort of a given at this point that Seth is gonna win.
Maybe because I will admit, out of the SmackDown triple threat matches, the one that I'm personally looking forward to that we all know is probably going to be a match of the year candidate. AJ Styles, WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, and WWE Hall of Famer Edge.
Yeah.
3 people that I don't think have ever had competed in a triple threat match against each other.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they've all shared a ring in a Royal Rumble or something. Which is an entirely different animal.
Yeah.
No Batista.
But I mean, my honest thoughts on the world title having SmackDown Superstars is it does kind of, I do honestly agree with you, it does kind of make it obvious on who is going to win the title. But you would think with the inclusion of SmackDown Superstars, it would make it more unpredictable on who's going to win the tournament.
Yeah, but like, let's say hypothetically, AJ Styles wins the whole tournament, and he and the OC have to go back to Raw. What the fuck would have been the point of drafting him to SmackDown?
All right, yeah, that's a fair point.
Like, that's why I see that side of the bracket as sort of meaningless.
Yeah. But in my opinion, you need whoever, whether it be a SmackDown superstar or a Raw superstar, because if WWE remembers that they're in a, have a brand split going on, because eventually down the line they may just forget again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just whoever wins this world title needs to make this championship, this beautiful looking championship, actually important. Because don't get me wrong, I don't mind if Seth Rollins wins the world title, but it's just, I don't know if it's a logical thing for a babyface to be your inaugural champion.
Yeah.
Because the
It's
baby,
better than just being handed the title, though.
Yeah, fair enough.
We get to return to this tournament or this topic for the next 2 weeks, because that's how many weeks away we are from Night of Champions. But we'll be right back with topic number 2.
Hello, everybody. We are back with topic number 2 for the 80th episode. Vince McMahon and how Vince McMahon is not in touch with today's modern wrestling crowd. To be 100% honest, I don't know if it has anything to do with his age, but I truly feel that the reason why Vince McMahon...
I feel it's more like he's micromanaging.
What do you mean?
Like he will show up to shows hours before it happens and just change it that day.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why the Raw after WrestleMania this year was absolute
dog shit,
trash, Vince McMahon changed stuff and got rid of segments that day.
Or during the show. No.
Yeah, or even during the show. Hell, he almost had 20 minutes to get ready for a match.
Yeah, just Jesus, but
He needs to find something to wrestle in.
He's like, fuck.
I wasn't expecting to have a match tonight. Shit, where's my ring gear?
It's like, I didn't pay. What? Where the fuck is my ring gear?
Man, then you're leaving the hotel room? God damn it.
Does
anyone have a wife beater shirt?
But honestly, the thing that I want to say about Vince McMahon being out of touch is that my personal belief is the reason why Vince McMahon is out of touch is because we normally see the main event scene sometimes. Well, in the Attitude Era, yeah, sure, it will. The main event scene grew and changed, but in the modern WWE, the main event scenes is shut up, Stella, is the same.
Yeah.
And
also, he like refuses to let new stars into that scene.
Sometimes he just completely buries like the mid card championships. And this is truly how I do feel. But it's just, I feel like that the mid card titles under Triple H actually seemed important while Triple H was running it compared to when Vince has it sometimes. Because sometimes when Vince runs it, it feels important, but other times the Intercontinental Championship you honestly forget about.
Yeah, sometimes the IC title is defended on the pre-show to premium live events.
Yeah. The thing about Vince McMahon, what are some things to you about Vince McMahon where you think he's out of touch?
The fact that, well, like I said, he doesn't let new stars into the main event picture.
Mm-hmm.
For an example of that, the Yes Movement,
Mm-hmm.
Kofi Mania, which was basically just a redo of the Yes Movement.
Yeah. Except hell, originally it wasn't even supposed to be Kofi.
Yeah.
Which I will say is that I thought, here's a problem with Vince's writing, and this is that when you had Kofi Kingston lose the WWE Championship, for example, in really quick succession, you have him just the next week completely forget about it and just move back on to the mid-card title, to the tag team titles, like nothing.
Yep.
Like hell, there are some stars that WWE very easily could have had as future main eventers, just didn't. For example, the two guys that I can think of, actually there's three: Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, and Daniel Bryan. There's the three guys that, in my opinion, are main event level worthy.
Yeah. And two of them were world champion at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
Surprisingly, neither of them was the Swiss Cyborg.
Yeah. In WWE, but
I think one thing Vince needs to work on is understanding the psychology of a modern day professional wrestling fan.
What do you mean by that?
Like, he clearly doesn't understand. We're going to cheer who we want to cheer, and we're going to boo who we want to boo, and he shouldn't censor it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong with the WWE Universe, yeah, I get we cheer who we want to cheer and boo who we want to boo, but this is just honestly my personal opinion. There is the problem with that is if we cheer who we want to cheer, we boo who we want to boo. It makes it really, really get confusing to tell who's a babyface and who's a heel.
Fair enough, but that doesn't mean you need to mute the crowd just because they're booing someone. Like, think about what happened when Roman was being shoved down our throats. Vince would mute the crowd so that the boos would not be heard. That
Yeah,
still goes back to him micromanaging.
yeah. But it's just like what I personally believe, and also it's just, also like, also a thing that I personally noticed with WWE's booking sometimes during vids is that there are some times where like the women's, don't get me wrong, get some great matches, but there are also some times where if it's the women that aren't really, or the guys that aren't really in the main event scene or aren't on TV, like they have like one appearance on Raw that don't show up like 5 months later, you kind of forget that they're employed.
Or at least you do.
Yeah. I mean, like, for example, Dana Brooke.
Yeah, she is technically still employed. Should probably be sent back to NXT, but still employed.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back with a third and final topic of this episode.
And we are back with the third and final topic, the prediction battle results for Backlash.
In St. Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yep, and for some reason some of the names are in gray, but don't worry, all the winners of the matches are
As follows.
visible.
All right.
Anyways, I'm going to start with number 1 and go to number 7.
Go.
Short pay-per-view. The first one was Sammy, Kevin, and Riddle versus the Bloodline.
That
was
match.
Okay.
Yeah, that match was all right.
Kind of mid. Could have been better.
Yeah.
Your prediction of the betrayal did not happen.
No. Who won that match?
The Bloodline did.
So I did.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next match? That gives me one fall.
The second match was Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
That was
also made.
Yeah, but like I've heard like WWE might be changing their policy on blood, thanks to their merger with UFC, I've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey. But I was not expecting Cody Rhodes to win, and this is very much starting to feel very familiar.
The John Cena 2012 story?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
Losing a big match at WrestleMania. Next match losing. The next match beating Brock Lesnar.
Yes. Travis just told the result, which gives me a point.
Yeah, which begs the question. So is he gonna? So in the feud with Brock Lesnar, is he gonna get a trip to Suplex City?
Probably, because WWE has said that the story between Brock and Cody is not over, and that is sort of confirmed by the fact that they will be having a fight at.
Cody, you're fucked.
Is it at Night of Champions?
Yes.
Okay,
See.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, but Cody, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Next.
Anyways, next is
match.
the SmackDown Women's Championship, which was Zelina Vega versus Rhea Ripley.
I did not watch that match because I was working that day.
Yeah. He was at Truist Park.
Yes.
But anyways, this match, trying to find a good way to describe it.
Bad, mediocre, all right,
Um, but
mid.
it was honestly this entire pay per view, except for like maybe the main event, was kind of mid.
Alright.
Zelina came out with a fresh OWO tattoo, a new hairdo, and wrapped in the flag of Puerto Rico.
Yeah. And she lost.
Yeah. And
Which they
yeah,
didn't flop the titles, which I'm still kind of what the fuck.
Yeah. Like you'll see what we mean later on. Anyways, the next match, the most random match of the show, Almost versus Seth Rollins.
But I saw some clips of that. That shit was surprisingly good.
Yeah, the ending, which I actually missed because I was grabbing dinner, was kind of cool.
And off the top rope curve stop. Like, damn.
Like, if you want to keep a giant, like, almost down,
You gotta jump.
that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that gives Travis another point.
Woohoo!
Anyways, on to the US title. Lashley versus Theory and
Broughton.
yeah, I was meh.
Yeah. I didn't see the that match was. Saw some highlights of that, but
Just meh.
yeah. Theory winning was
Surprising.
yeah. But Theory actually, letting Lashley hit a spear, then yeeting him out of the ring to win the match is clever.
That's a chicken shit heel tactic.
And he should honestly start to act like that more. No offense.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, and that gave me a nearfall.
And this next match is surprisingly not the nail in my coffin.
What was it?
The Raw Women's title. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky.
How was that match? Because I did not watch it.
It was okay. Damage control got involved. Shock of all shocks, not really.
No. But the
And
one
then
thing.
Liv Morgan and Raquel came out to even the odds.
Okay, but I did see that Bianca did manage to lift Io with one arm.
Yeah.
Damn.
Bianca's strength is immaculate.
Yeah.
And a KOD later, and the EST is still on top of WWE's women's. I'm surprised after the SmackDown Women's title match later that night, Bianca didn't come out and they exchanged titles.
Yeah.
Anyways, the last match we predicted was the San Juan Puerto Rico street fight. Honestly, this was probably match of the night.
Really? Why do you say that?
Just like the brutality, Sadio Vega came out, the LWO came out, Judgment Day came out, Carlito came out.
Yeah, but I saw a reaction on TikTok of all things to the loud reaction that that was for Bad Bunny's entrance. Like, Jesus, that crowd was electric for Bad Bunny.
Yeah. He was the host and a competitor. Like, seriously.
And also, yeah, but Carlito returning was just like that was a surprise. For a kid.
Unfortunately, it seems to be a one-off appearance. He has not signed a new deal with WWE.
What? Hey, Carlito, that's not cool.
Yeah, so anyways, Bad Bunny won, unsurprisingly.
Yeah,
But people were giving Damien props.
yeah, and I heard that because of that Triple H now sees Damian Priest in a different, as a main event level competitor.
Yeah, which is probably why he's in the tournament.
Well, was.
Yeah, he sort of lost. Anyways, that brings the score, which I forgot to write down, as a
what?
4-3 in
Woo.
favor of my co-host.
Woohoo! Let's go!
What movie am I watching?
Now, remind everybody what the punishment was, please, before
Yes,
I say.
the punishment was the loser has to watch a movie of the winner's choice.
All right. The movie that I have decided is, and you can't escape this because you've already used it. You got to watch the live action Lion King.
Alright, that isn't the worst. I wouldn't even count that as live action since the animals were all CGI.
Yeah. But it's considered.
I was gonna counter with maybe you can make me watch Shyamalan's Last Airbender again.
Oh, you know what? I like that idea better.
Okay. Anyways, that is all the time we have for this. I'm probably gonna do the punishment once we get off this recording because it's on Netflix. And if it's not there, then I should always check Paramount Plus.
Bye.
Roll that outro. Thank you for listening to At Odds, hosted by the Unbreakable Spirit
And the Executioner.
Edited by the Unbreakable Spirit. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MTS_life_0126.
You can follow me on Instagram at DanTravis121. And you can also follow me on the Twitter at DanTheExecutioner21.
And you can follow the podcast at Odds Podcast. We'll be back next week with more debates and discussions. But until then, the Executioner and the Unbreakable Spirit will still be at odds.
Thank you, losers.